I felt two arms on each side of my body, grabbed me underneath my arms, pulled me away off from the main line of students.
People were just running in the streets, just clubbing people. I mean, the police were just clubbing the people in the streets and running after them. And some of them were just sitting on the lawns there.
At first to see such resistance, and then to see outright hostility, brutality, it didn't match the thing that we were doing. We didn't commit a crime. We were protesting.
Who were the Brown Berets?
Yeah.
Well, you know, it was a group of young men, and eventually there was young girls got involved with us too in the movement. But basically it was just a startup. During the '60s, there was just a movement going around the United States about social justice issues. One of the things we wanted to do is we wanted to join the service club, VFW, the American Legions. So when we went and tried to join them, and again, they were run pretty literally white by white dudes, and so one of the things they told us after hearing our story was, well, you know, maybe you guys ought to go start your own. And he said, well, what do you mean by that? Well, why don't you Mexican Americans, Chicanos, whatever you want to call yourself, why don't you start your own VFW or your own American Legion? As we started talking about our thing going on here in St. Paul, we started being able to identify some of the same issues that they were talking about. We started talking about ourselves, our issues with the police, our issues with the school system, and the biggest thing I think was about being treated like second-class citizens. One of the things that really surfaced for our group here in St. Paul was many of our members were veterans, Vietnam veterans.
Schooling system in the United States, I don't believe has improved. And this is something that the Brown Berets were really fighting for. They really believed in education and education reform. They were one of the first groups to fight for bilingual education. And even today, our bilingual education system, I don't think has been or is what the dream has always been. I think there's still a lot of misunderstandings around what bilingual education should be. And today we see the same rates, dropout rates or push-out rates, as I like to call them, because a lot of our students don't get, they don't drop out. They get pushed out of a system of education. And so, 50% of our students are still not graduating, and specifically Minnesota being one of the states with the worst graduation rate for Latinos and Latinas in the whole country. So our education system, unfortunately, hasn't been dealt with. I don't think it's an issue that has been unfortunately addressed, and we're still kind of in the same struggle as back in the 1960s and 70s when the Brown Berets were fighting for an education system that they saw as unequitable and not giving enough opportunities to our Latino and Latina youth.